Hey guys, I'm Camden Sikowski.
And I'm Carla Mansour, and we're here with a bowl filled with your questions about our technical process.
Let's get into it.
How
did you start your film production and what are the steps?
Ooh, okay.
Take it away.
Usually I start off with a script. I write the script. Based on the script, I'm like, all right, where do I see this happening? Then we go location scouting. Once we have our location, then shot list is down, storyboard, vision board, everything, seeing how it's going to be, the shots and everything. And then it's the hiring process and putting the team together. So I usually hire the DP first, and director if we do have a director. Otherwise, we're usually directing it. Yeah. And then from then on, we'll hire the rest of the team. So our gaffers, our grips, our, everyone else, PAs, actors, if we have any. And then we schedule everything, and then we shoot it all, and then we adjust with everything that comes with shooting, and then we go into the post-production process.
And the reason why we're able to hire so many great people is because Carla knows so many great people. And the reason why these people are around and they're always down to say yes is that Carla is such a genuine good person that everyone just wants to be a part of this and wants to work with her. And I love working with her because you work so hard. And I know that, it's not going to be just one person picking up the slack. Like, it's always a team collaborative effort 100% all the way through. And I just love being able to work with you and being able to do these productions.
I love working with you.
I love working with you.
And then once you keep doing that over and over, you have a set of people that you want to continue working with. And then, you become a production company.
There it is.
How late can days on set go? How long does it usually take to record a full scene? A full day is about 12 to 18 hours.
And we typically film all of our scenes in one day.
Yes, although Fort Valeris was
a
2 days.
shoot.
Yes, because there were multiple scenes and it was a lot. We couldn't cram into one day. But typically we want to limit it to like a day.
What was the hardest scene to film and why?
Nightmare.
It was a nightmare
to film. Nightmare was
really,
really bad, and mostly because the scene is
shot
in
a bathroom.
Rule number 1 in filming:
don't ever shoot in a real
bathroom.
It just the walls, it just bounces all of the audio around. So when you're listening to it, it sounds like you're in this echo chamber.
Yeah, which does not work.
So we actually had to ADR the entire thing. Yes. So everything that we shot, we couldn't use the audio on that day, so we had to re-record the audio after the fact.
So we recorded every little thing back again. So that was very difficult. And also the bathroom that we were filming at, there were a lot of elements. It was a lot smaller than what we had anticipated. So the parameters that we were working with were very difficult.
And the owner of the house had places to go and people to see. So
we needed to evacuate.
Okay, one take and go.
Yeah, we were one take wonders. Truly, we only had one take. What is the editing process like? A lot.
It's a lot, especially in the case of Fort Valeris. You're working with a lot of external factors since we're shooting outdoors.
A storm hit while we were filming.
Right. So
which was great.
It was great. It looked great, but then high winds and high rains and needing to protect the camera gear and putting plastic sheeting over it and plastic and wind, just trash bag effect. So all of that was just a nightmare to have to edit it.
Yeah, because
lots of mental breakdowns. It's something that we're thinking about when we're on sets, like the crickets. We're like, how are we going to work around
How are we going to work around that? The steps, the whatever it is. There's so many things that, So how do you decide what kind of music goes into a scene? I love this question.
Yes.
So we typically work with Devin Norris, who is absolutely
amazing
incredible.
Composer.
He's so wonderful. So usually what we have is we have the scene and we have the arc and we have the emotional arc of the scene. So upon first collaboration, we timestamp the scene and we're like, all right, we want to feel this at this point, we want to feel this at this point, and we lay down the groundwork of the sound that we're thinking, if we want it ethereal or light, or if we want it heavy and dramatic, and all of these different things, and really get on the same page of like what we're trying, because the music essentially has its own language and dialogue, and it has to parallel the actual dialogue and the actual scene and serve
like a supplemental
the scene.
guide for the audience.
Yes,
to
it
follow
guides
along.
you emotionally through the progression of it, and yeah, and the music should never compete with whatever's happening. So usually, so after that, you know, we get it's out and he composes it, and then it's sent back to us and we provide feedback. And sometimes it's very, very technical, like we want to extend this note or match this note, and it's like a dance between the music and the dialogue and the acting and everything that we do, and nothing should they all should harmoniously be together and
blend effortlessly
in a very intertwined way. So yeah, this is what we, and then we also have like different songs.
Right. Like
Yeah.
if a song comes up at the end, then we're looking through licensing and we're seeing, okay,
Yes.
how can we find a certain song to fit what we're looking for? And
The
we're looking for
feel and
like
the
dark and
mood.
sexy typically for all
Yeah,
of our
for all of
items.
our scenes.
And then we kind of like audition each song and let the song kind of speak for itself. And
Yeah.
it's always really, you play it and then you're like, oh, that's the
That's
one.
the one.
How did you decide what scenes to film from the ACOTAR books?
I typically choose the scenes that are pivotal to the progression of the story and the arc that we've already built for ourselves. So we have, you know, Under the Mountain, we started off as enemies, and then Nightmare, we got to know each other more, and then My Mate was the final declaration of love,
deal.
and then Until the End is dealing with the bigger overarching conflict as equals, and then finally For Valeris was actually the very last few chapters of the third book that kind of completes their arc, and they've completed their major conflict. So and it's also all of the scenes that are very highly favored by the fandom and people love very much. So it serves both the journey that we've created and also
The journey that
fans are looking for. So this is how I typically, you know, go about this. And specifically with Until the End, I combined about 12 to 15 chapters into one scene. So I wanted
You get a little bit of everything.
get a
It's like
little
you
bit of
read the whole
everything.
book in that one scene.
that I wanted it to feel like, oh, I can actually remember a lot of the book from this
Right.
one scene. So
Very impressive.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. What other ACOTAR scenes would you have wanted to shoot that you couldn't? So many.
What?
So many. I would have loved to create the first time Reese takes Farah to the Court of Nightmares, but that would have required an underground castle that we don't have.
I know. I would
Or
have
not
loved to
been able
see some of the monsters, like the bog.
Oh yeah,
Those would be
yeah.
so
That would be
cool.
incredible. Or like the battle.
The
to
battle,
have-
especially.
Yeah, would have loved to create that. It was a little too much for where we were
Yeah,
at. But
because then you're dealing with so many other extras and
Yeah.
actors and makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
There's just too much.
Too much to work with. Or the wedding scene. A lot of people
Yes.
really, really wanted the wedding
Yes.
scene. But at that point, we had already came out with Nightmare. So the scene in the books happens before Nightmare. And that already would have like put our timeline in a weird spot.
Yeah.
So didn't really want to go with that. Although I would have loved to create it, but we had surpassed that point.
And last but not least, if the ACOTAR TV series will end up in nothing, could you do it, please?
Yes.
We would love nothing more.
1,000%
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, if nothing comes of that,
Or
without a doubt.
even
would
if
love
something
to.
does come of the
Even if
Hulu
something does
series,
come from it,
we would still love to work with it in any capacity.
any capacity, really.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely incredible.
But thank you guys so much for watching and for following us on this journey.
Yes, and you guys make a huge difference, really.
Right.
You guys make waves.
You guys have
The
a lot of
more
power.
vocal you are, it definitely rocks the boat. So thank you, and know your power, because you can make a difference.
Definitely.